June 20th, 2016, and today we are going to start in the Magic Kingdom, where guests are now able to meet Cinderella and Rapunzel, just Cinderella and Rapunzel, as Anna and Elsa have moved to the Royal Summer House in Epcot's Norway Pavilion. Now, with Cinderella and Rapunzel at the Princess Fairytale Hall in the Magic Kingdom, you are now able to meet those two in the two separate areas, Cinderella on one side and Rapunzel on the other, and they're with two visiting princesses. Let's see, Cinderella is with Princess Aurora, and Rapunzel is with Princess Tiana. So, right now. So those are the princesses that you'll have the chance to meet when you're visiting the Princess Fairytale Hall. Now, because of all these changes, Snow White is now meeting guests at the Town Square Courtyard next to City Hall. So if you're looking for Snow White, that's where you're going to find her. Over at Epcot, Soarin' Around the World debuted on Friday of last week, and with its debut came an all-new game called Soarin' Challenge. This is a trivia-related game where players can test their global knowledge by answering questions shown on the displays in the queue, or use their own personal mobile device to compete against hundreds of other players. Guests can work together to answer questions about culture, cuisine, history, landmarks, and more. And those playing on their own mobile devices can even unlock achievements and digital passport stamps to keep track of their progress along the way. Now, of course, we had the horrible news about that poor little boy who passed because of the alligator incident that happened at Disney's Grand Floridian. And because of that, Disney is taking some measures to prevent against this. Currently, right now, Walt Disney World watercraft service is now back to normal operation. Resort beaches are currently unavailable to guests. The movie Under the Stars are being shown in their indoor location right now. Guests may rent pontoon boats and Boston Whaler boats at available marinas. However, Sea Racer rentals are not available, and the Sammy Duval water sports are also unavailable at this time. And finally, guests are not permitted to fish on any resort waterway with their own personal equipment at this time. Also, for those who haven't been noticing on social media, Disney is putting in some fencing. This is not necessarily to keep the alligators out. However, it is necessary to keep the people from going in the water. So that's another change that is occurring right now at the beaches. Currently, I believe the only beach that has had this work done is the beach at the Grand Floridian, but I'm sure that the other beaches will be receiving the same type of treatment. Finally, moving to Disney's Port Orleans French Quarter, Sassagoula Floatworks and Food Court will be closed for refurbishment beginning July 11th and lasting until the fall. Alternative food and beverage options can be found. One is going to be adjacent to the lobby and the Scat Cat Lounge. This location will be serving guest favorites such as jambalaya, gumbo, po' boy sandwiches, and other hot and cold entrees, including the world-famous beignets. Also, a selection of grab-and-go meats will be available to purchase. Guests can also choose to dine at the Riverside Mill Food Court at Disney's Port Orleans Riverside, or they can dine at Boatwright's Dining Hall at the neighboring resort as well. Finally, in-room pizza delivery service will continue to be available from 4 p.m. until midnight, and the menu will include pizza, hot and cold sandwiches, and pasta. Last but not least, at the Grand Floridian, speaking of that earlier, the Grand Floridian Lawn Party will be held on Wednesday, June 22nd from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the Courtyard Lawn, and the whole family is invited for the fun lawn activities. No word on what those activities will be per se, but it should be a good time for families. So that is going to do it for today's edition of the MouseBites. If you have any questions about anything that I've discussed today, make sure to go visit themouseforless.com and check out the site for more information. Also, make sure to check out the Mouse for Less on all the social media sites. So that includes Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. And otherwise, we're going to see you the next time on the MouseBites.